All right, today we're going to dive into a legal puzzle from the Australian High Court that honestly reads more like a thriller than some dusty old legal document. It's a case that all comes down to a really simple but incredibly powerful question.
So, can a statement be literally, factually, 100% true, but at the exact same time be a total and complete lie in the eyes of the law? I mean, it sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, this very paradox is right at the heart of a landmark case. And trust me, the answer is fascinating. So, our story kicks off with two key players: a buyer, a Mr. Krakowski, and a seller, this company called Eurolinks. And the stage for all this drama? A high-stakes commercial property deal. Let's set the scene. It's 1995. The Krakowski party is looking to put some serious money into a prime retail property. They're being told by the seller, Eurolinks, that this is a rock-solid, can't-miss opportunity. A real blue-chip investment. And there was one specific reason it seemed so absolutely perfect. And this brings us right to the core of the seller's pitch. They made it what the law calls a positive representation, which is just a fancy way of saying they made a clear, attractive statement of fact that was designed to get the deal done. The single most important selling point, the real hook, was that the property wasn't empty. Oh no, it came with a strong, reliable tenant who was, and this is the really crucial part, already locked into a solid 3-year lease. Now, for any property investor, this is the gold standard. It means guaranteed income from day one. It just looked like a completely foolproof investment. But you knew there was a but coming, right? Of course, there was a twist. What the buyer was told was true, technically, but it wasn't the whole truth. See, there was a hidden agreement, a secret deal that completely changed the entire reality of the situation. And here is where that half-truth comes into play. What they said was true. There was a tenant locked into a 3-year lease. But what they hid changes everything. There was a secret side deal giving the supposedly strong tenant 3 months completely rent-free, plus extra cash to finish their shop fit-out. This secret deal was the only reason the tenant signed that lease. They weren't strong at all. They were just being propped up to look that way. So what do you think happened next? Well, it was almost inevitable. As soon as that rent-free period was over and the special incentives were gone, the tenant couldn't pay the rent. They defaulted on the lease and just left. They abandoned the property, leaving Krakowski with a totally empty building and a deal that had gone completely sour. So, feeling totally deceived, Krakowski took the sellers to court in what turned into a massive legal fight. This whole thing escalated. It went all the way to the High Court of Australia. We're talking the highest court in the land. And their verdict would end up clarifying the law on truth-telling in a way that's still so important today. And the logic they used, it's just brilliant. The court really focused on this fantastic concept, the distortion of a positive representation. It basically means you can't just tell a little piece of the truth if you know that leaving out the rest of the story creates a completely false impression. The omission, the thing you don't say, itself becomes a form of deception. The court's logic was just a simple, powerful chain of events. Okay, so first, Eurolinks made that positive representation. Hey, we've got a signed lease. But then they deliberately concealed the secret side deal that made the tenant look strong in the first place. The court found that this concealment fundamentally distorted the truth of that lease, which led them to their final ruling. This wasn't just misleading, it was straight-up fraudulent misrepresentation. And the court's own words from the judgment just nail it perfectly. A statement that is literally true may be a fraudulent misrepresentation. What is left unsaid may create a positively false impression. That right there is the heart of the ruling. It means silence, when you really have a duty to speak up, can actually be a lie. So you might be thinking, why are we talking about some property deal from back in 1995? Well, because the legacy of this case, Krakowski v. Eurolinks, goes so far beyond real estate. It set a really powerful precedent for honesty and disclosure in all kinds of negotiations. So, why does this case still matter so much today? Well, for one, it legally established that a clever half-truth can actually be a full lie. It puts a duty of full disclosure on people in a negotiation. It means we have to think about what isn't being said, because that can be just as important as what is. And ultimately, this case gives us all powerful protection from being deceived by statements that are technically true, but are really just designed to mislead. This whole case forces us to look beyond the literal words and really consider the full picture.
So the next time you find yourself in any kind of negotiation, big or small, just remember to ask yourself, what unspoken truths might be shaping this deal?